Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday. I was very tired last night, as evidenced by the fact that I never ended the vlog. And that's how you know I was very, very tired. We came back from dinner and grabbing the donut, and we did breakfast stream. Mark and Rhonda actually were here for a few minutes, and after the stream, I crashed. I just completely crashed. I was so exhausted. So I forgot to end the vlog. That's okay. We started today, and now you know that everything's all right. Speaking of everything being all right, my parents got power back, and that's incredible. The storm hadn't even completely passed through, but there's a ton of line workers, like a ton of line workers that are from all over the state,
Carolina.
And then also, neighboring states that have just been like waiting in Florence, South Carolina, for a chance to get in there and fix things. And I'm blown away how fast things have been fixed. The thing is, the storm's not like completely through, so there's a chance that they could lose power again, but they're trying to stay up on it. They're trying to make sure that they keep the power up for as long as they can and repair it as quickly as possible. So yeah, I'm impressed. So once the storm completely passes, which should be when, Mal, later today?
Yeah, they're getting the last bit of it now, I think.
Okay, so soon it'll be over. We'll have to worry about the floodwaters a little bit, but it seems like they did it, which is good because as I said yesterday, it was a bit of an emotionally exhaustive day. So today should feel a lot better. The weather in Shanghai is still pretty crummy. It's still super rainy, but it doesn't matter because today we're leaving Shanghai. We just put our stuff outside the door. They're going to come pick it up and take it to the airport for us. And after breakfast, we're actually going to be going to the airport. One of the interesting things about this trip is that we're not only flying into China internationally, but we're going to be doing some flights domestically. So we're going to be getting on a plane today, leaving Shanghai, and going to a place that I don't remember.
I think we're going to Yichang, and we're taking the Yangtze River.
Yeah, we're ultimately boarding a Yangtze River cruise, and that's what we're going to be doing for the next few days. I'm just not sure where we're connecting to the river. But we'll find that out today. And I just think it'll be really interesting to fly domestically within China. They also have different restrictions on bags. For example, throughout the U.S., the bag limit in weight is 50 pounds. But in China, domestically, it's 44. So we had to plan 44 pounds max when we came here since we knew that we'd be flying around domestically. So we're good. We're under the weight limit, but there's just a few small differences. We'll grab some breakfast, and then I guess we'll be heading to the airport. I'm really curious what breakfast is going to be like at the other places because I've been so thrilled with the breakfast here. Like, if this is the last time it's to this extent, like, I'm sincerely going to miss it. So before we head over to the airport, we have a few stops. The first of which is a silk embroidery place. China is known for this art, dates back to thousands of years ago. And even though Shanghai has become obviously more modern, it's still an art that's practiced today. And actually getting a chance to see some of the work here and seeing people actively do the work is incredible. It's basically painting, but with a needle and thread, and depending on how fine a line they have to make, it changes how thin the material that they need to use, how thin the silk, and it's just incredible. I've never been in a gallery with this many silk embroidery pieces. And to see the craftsmanship in each and everything is just bewildering. Actually, some of the pieces even have placards on them that tell how many days of work they took. And it's incredible to see. It's clear that each and every one of the pieces in here took an astounding amount of time And there are some things that have to be done by hand that a machine just simply can't do. So following the silk embroidery gallery, we're stopping at another garden area, this time in Shanghai instead of Suzhou. And this garden is beautiful. We're probably going to see quite a few gardens on this trip. This one specifically was built in 1559, and it was actually built for the builder's father as a gift. But due to some financial hardships, it took him 29 years to actually finish this place, and by that time his father had passed away. So it was his, and unfortunately those financial hardships continued, so he ultimately had to sell this off. One of the interesting things about this garden is that there's a giant piece of limestone that's over 1,000 years old, and it originally belonged to a prior emperor, and that was apparently one of the big focal points of this garden, and it's actually facing the study room, so whenever the owner was in there studying, they could look out and see this beautiful piece of ancient limestone. One of the things that really sets this garden apart, I think, from the one that we saw yesterday, is that it's not that we were out in the country, I guess, but being in the heart of Shanghai certainly makes a difference, because outside of this garden is like this huge bazaar area. So there's all these shops, and then nestled inside is this, several hundred-year-old garden. And it's interesting because obviously these are historic sites, so they want to preserve them. And then sprouting up around them are more modern things. It's just really weird to be surrounded by shops and then suddenly enter a back door and you're in this beautiful garden area. It's really cool. Another thing I thought that was interesting to point out was there's a lot of imagery of dragons. And we were told by the guide that the dragon is a symbol of the emperor. In fact, if you had dragon imagery and you weren't the emperor, in imperial China it meant death, like they would kill you. But some people skirted around this by having dragons that had a fewer number of claws, because apparently a real dragon has 5 claws. So if you had high social status, you would have a dragon, but they wouldn't have 5 claws. So there's some in here that have 3. So this is probably a pretty high-ranking person to have a dragon, but they weren't the emperor, so only 3 claws. So we had lunch, which was family style. Most of the meals that are included on this trip are family style because that's a very traditional Chinese way of eating. It's actually great because you get a chance to try so much stuff. It's my preferred way because one of the great things about traveling is you want to try different foods, and this way every single meal you're trying multiple things, and so much of the food here has just been astounding. Made our way to the airport. This is the same airport we flew into. This is Shanghai Pudong. I think I got that right. So we have like 90 minutes before we board. We decided to get a snack. They have melon pan, which is a favorite of Japan, or Mitsuwa when we're traveling through Chicago. And I decided to pick up something that I saw the other day and didn't pick up then. It's just a very interesting concept. It's Lay's potato chips in their Italian red meat flavor. Why? I don't know. And honestly, this could be something that was even in Japan. I just never noticed. But I wanted to try because that's bizarre. I don't think that's something that would ever be sold in the States because it's so strange. They also had like eel and fried crab, but those at least make a little sense to me.
Yeah.
Italian red meat is just bizarre. It's basically, there's meat sauce. And I'm like, I want to try this. The smell's not particularly strong.
It's kind of like bolognese sauce, kind of.
You know what that tastes like to me? And you have to tell me if I'm off the mark here. That tastes like a weak barbecue chip. Do you agree? It's got the same sort of flavor profile as barbecue. It's just weaker. It's good. It's just there's not... I don't know what I was expecting. Unfortunately, our flight was delayed by an hour. But after that, we flew from Shanghai to Yichang. Yichang. Not entirely sure of the pronunciation. We had a little over an hour bus ride, and then we had to go down the world's noisiest moving room. It's like an elevator that took you down to where the boats were, and now we are here on the ship, and unfortunately, I don't think Mao and I will be able to sleep together because they're little twin beds, and it's going to be a little short. And then actually the thing that I'm most worried about, and I probably dealt with this in Greece and probably even on the ship we took with Alex and Haley, but everything in the ship is short for me. Like my hair hits the ceiling just walking around the boat. And in here in the bathroom, the shower is elevated, so like you're stepping up, which means I'm going to have to like crouch down to take a shower. But otherwise I'm sure it's fun and great, and yeah, I'm mostly just exhausted. It's so late. It's
Over past 12.
yeah, it's 12:16.
I bet that's our luggage.
I love that. They delivered the luggage. Yeah, that's just one bag. So
Yeah.
yeah, your bag's here. Anyway, I'm exhausted. We're gonna get some sleep and then stuff tomorrow. I don't actually know if the boat's leaving tomorrow. I think the boat stays.
It leaves at night? No, I don't know. They said it would stay here most of the day.
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?